so I quit having Bloody Marys. And it's not, like I said, I didn't have vertigo for a very long period in my life because, like I said, I don't really drink. But then when my sister came and I started having like a Bloody Mary when we go out and eat just for fun, I realized that I was getting vertigo every day. So when I stopped, I realized, oh my God, it's actually, I'm getting vertigo because of vodka, because of the Bloody Marys that I'm having, and just that small amount of vodka in it. And I realized, like, that's crazy how alcohol contributes to vertigo on my part, in my personal experience. And you'd have to consult with your doctor. I'm just sharing my personal experience with vertigo. So what happened was, when I went to see my doctor for my annual physical, I shared that with my doctor. I was like, I realized and I noticed that every time I have like vodka, like a cocktail with vodka in it, like specifically just Bloody Marys, I noticed that I would have vertigo. And the reason that and he said, well, sometimes people do have an intolerance to vodka or alcohol. They have an allergy or an allergic reaction to it. And what was happening was, I'll have like a Bloody Mary, and then it would be like maybe 5 hours later where I would get that bout of vertigo. So, and the reason why I shared it with him is because I wanted him to, he's a doctor, so it's really interesting to note that in studies of vertigo, because vertigo, we normally associate it with like a inner ear imbalance or something, and I just never heard of vertigo being associated with vodka, for example. So I thought it was important for me to share that with my doctor so that he could look into it or share it with other colleagues, because I'm not very, I haven't, when I have read up in regards to vertigo in the past, I've never really come across vertigo being linked to like things that we drink or eat. And that would be an interesting study to do, because all I've read about vertigo is just like an inner ear imbalance. So that's in regards to the topic of vertigo. And like I said, you'd have to consult with your doctor. Once I stopped drinking Bloody Marys, I've never had a bout of vertigo. Never. I wanted to share one of my personal health experiences was my shingles shot. So I'm 55 years old, and when I was 50, I got my series of shingles shots. So the shingles shots come in a series of 2. So what happened with my shingles shot was, when I got it, the next day I woke up with a fever, body aches, and I just felt sick from that shingles vaccine. And I always get vaccines. I get like my flu vaccine, of course my COVID. I get vaccines, and I've never experienced any side effects from those vaccine shots, but I definitely experienced side effects with the shingles vaccine. And the reason, and I think that's a bit more common knowledge. There's like a very high percentage of people that get body aches and fevers after the shingles shot, because I've heard one of my girlfriend's husband, she shared that he had that same experience with his shingles vaccine. But the one thing that I did want to share in regards to my shingles vaccine is when I got my shingles vaccine, I think like a month later, my ex-husband, but we were married that time. We were gonna take a trip to Palm Springs, but I also had like blood work scheduled to be done during that trip. So what we did was, that morning we were gonna drive out, we stopped by the lab so that they could I could have my blood drawn. And I think it was like a fast type of blood draw where I did have to fast. So that's why we did it the first thing that morning, early in the morning, like at 6:30, before driving up to Palm Springs. We went to the lab and they had, they drew my blood. But what happened was when I got my test results back from that blood draw, I had very high levels in my liver panel results. So my doctor got back to me saying, you have your liver panel is high, so that's not a good thing. I want to have your blood drawn again after a couple of weeks or a month later, just to see if there's a difference between the levels in your liver panel results. So what was happening was I started looking up and researching, high liver panels, and what I came across was something that showed that the shingles shot sometimes contributes to high liver panel. Thanks for hanging out with me in this vlog. It was a pretty chatty one. I think one of the things I do want to one of the other things that I wanted to change in regards to, a healthier lifestyle is just getting rid of my coated pans and buying a set of stainless steel ones. That's what I had when I was in San Diego. I just had like a set of, everything was stainless steel. But of course, when I moved, I got rid of all my cooking pans and pots. And I just, I didn't think again until I started featuring food clips in my vlogs. And that's when I realized, I want to get back to stainless steel, which is healthier. So that's one of the things I am going to purchase, is a set of stainless steel pans. A huge percentage of my subscribers are men. Figure. Yeah, they're men. I'm not complaining, and I appreciate that. But my daughter and I were talking. She was like, "Mom, you should start an OnlyFans if like a majority of your subscribers are men." I said, "But I don't want to do anything like sexual or anything like that." And she said, OnlyFans doesn't just feature specifically sexual content. OnlyFans has everything, all types of content in it. So I don't know. I'm debating whether to establish an OnlyFans account for my men subscribers, and of course there'll be different content on that social media platform. So I'm